The biggest names in Cleveland Indians history are timeless to Tribe fans. From the Thomes to the Loftons to the Vizquels to the Alomars and beyond, these players will forever remain in our hearts until the end of time. All of these players have produced so many memorable moments throughout. Then, there are those that gave Tribe fans a lifetime worth of memories from just one season. Whether they signed one-year contracts or only shined for one specific season despite many years in a Cleveland uniform, they left their mark, and Tribe fans will always be grateful for it. With that in mind, here are the top 10 one-hit wonders in Cleveland Indians history. Number 10, Marty Cordova. This former 1995 American League Rookie of the Year had a promising start to his career with the Minnesota Twins. The outfielder then had multiple back injuries that slowed him down some after 1996. In 2001, the Indians took a chance on Cordova, and he was very successful as a starting left fielder. Cordova hit .301 in 122 games with 20 home runs, 69 runs batted in, and a .348 on-base percentage. He helped lift the Indians to their 6th AL Central Division crown in 7 years and back to postseason action. He signed with the Baltimore Orioles the following season and only hit .253 in 131 games. The following year, he only appeared in 9 games and never played professional ball afterwards. Number 9, Marquis Grissom. Already a very reliable center fielder in the National League for the Montreal Expos and Atlanta Braves, Grissom was 2 years removed from winning a World Series with the Braves. He was a part of a late March blockbuster trade that sent him and David Justice from Atlanta to Cleveland for Kenny Lofton and Alan Embry. Grissom was not an all-star that year like Justice and Lofton, but he saved his best for the playoffs. He was crowned the ALCS MVP and hit a huge 3-run homer in Game 2 against the Orioles. Overall, he hit .262 during the regular season with 12 homers, 66 RBIs, and 20 stolen bases. His career lasted until 2005, and 1997 was his only out of his 17-year career spent in the American League. Number 8, Bobby Bonds. The father of Barry Bonds made a name for himself before his son was born as a San Francisco Giant. He was a 3-time All-Star, twice with the Giants and once with the New York Yankees, and very reliable even at the end of his career. In his third to last season, he signed with the Indians for the 1979 campaign. That year, he batted .275 with 25 homers, 85 RBIs, and had a .367 on-base percentage. Cleveland was in the midst of a terrible 41-year stretch, so his impact was not big enough for postseason conversations. It was, however, his last good season. He also became the Tribe's hitting coach from 1984 to 1987. If only he could have convinced Barry to join the Tribe. If only. Number 7, Scott Kazmir. This southpaw starter made a name for himself with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in the mid to late 2000s, but was out of baseball for 2 full seasons, minus 1 start in 2011 with the Angels, before making his comeback in 2013. The Indians took a chance on his story with a minor league contract. After an expected slow start, Kazmir finished with a 10-9 record, an ERA of .404 in 158 innings, and struck out 162 batters. He helped lead the Tribe back to the playoffs for the first time since 2007 as the number 1 wildcard team. The following season, he signed a big deal with the Oakland Athletics and was an All-Star. Again, his career faded out after 2016, but rumor has it he's still thinking of one last comeback attempt. Number 6, Joe Charboneau. Go, Joe Charboneau! That was the hit song of Cleveland in 1980 because of Super Joe Charboneau. The Indians did not have much to be excited about during those times, but Super Joe gave a huge jolt for one season. In 1980, he was the AL's Rookie of the Year. He batted .289 in 131 games with 23 homers and 87 RBIs. And then, that was it. He only played in 70 games from 1981 to 1982, and then he was out of baseball forever. The memories Super Joe left behind were that he was a huge fan favorite, drank beer through his nose, and could even open bottle caps with his eye sockets. Imagine if he did that as a player nowadays. Number 5, Kevin Millwood. A former All-Star with the Braves, Millwood was coming off a down year with the Philadelphia Phillies. The Indians signed him to a 1-year deal for the 2005 season, and he did not disappoint. Despite a 9-11 record because of horrible run support, Millwood led the American League with a .286 ERA and 192 innings pitched. That's saying a lot, especially because he beat out a prime Johan Santana. He only finished 6th in the Cy Young votings because of that win-loss record. His efforts were not enough to get the Tribe in the playoffs, though, and he left the following season, although every Indians fan knew that because there was no way they would be able to afford him. His most noteworthy accomplishment after 2005 came when he was a part of a Seattle Mariners combined no-hitter in 2012. Number 4, Rajai Davis. The speedy outfielder was nearing the end of his career that began with the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2006. He signed a one-year, $5.25 million deal with the Indians for the very memorable 2016 season. He led the league with 43 stolen bases and hit a career-high 12 homers with 48 RBIs. There was one moment, though, that will live in baseball history forever. That, of course, was his 8th inning, game-tying 2-run home run off Aroldis Chapman in Game 7 of the World Series. We all know the ending to that story, but there's no doubt Davis cemented his legacy with that line drive shot. Davis returned to the Indians in 2018, but was not the same. There's a reason Father Time always wins. Number 3, Juan Gonzalez. Indians fans were devastated when Manny Ramirez left for the Boston Red Sox in 2001. Knowing they had one more shot at a title, Cleveland signed veteran outfielder Gonzalez to replace the void in right field. The former two-time MVP with the Texas Rangers had an incredible comeback after a lackluster 2000 campaign with the Detroit Tigers. He hit an astonishing .325 with 35 homers and 140 RBIs. He was an All-Star that year and won a Silver Slugger Award. He also finished 5th in the MVP votings, 1 spot behind Roberto Alomar and 2 in front of Jim Thome, both teammates. He returned to the Tribe in 2005, but that only lasted 1 at-bat. Literally. He came back, hit a ground out in his season debut in May, and tore his hamstring running to first base. Number 2, Matt Williams. Giant fans were not happy when the 10-year veteran third baseman was traded to Cleveland for the 1997 season. But they got Jeff Kent in return, so it worked out nicely for both teams. Williams joined an already loaded Indians squad and solidified third base. Williams quietly made a loud impact. He was a Silver Slugger winner and a Gold Glover in his only season in the American League. He batted .263 with 32 homers and 105 RBIs. He's higher than Gonzalez on his list because the Tribe was in the World Series. After the season, he was traded to the newly formed Arizona Diamondbacks for Travis Fryman. Again, this trade worked out nicely for both teams. Williams spent the rest of his career in Arizona before retiring in 2004. He even won his only World Series ring in 2001. Number 1, Mike Napoli. Out of everyone on this list, nobody made quite the impact for one specific season than Napoli. And it came out of nowhere. In 2016, he crushed 34 home runs with 101 RBIs. Thanks to a Streetsboro native, "Party at Napoli's" became the team's rally cry, and it took off quickly. Napoli was the power hitter the Indians long needed to reach the World Series. Without him, the Indians probably do not make the World Series, and possibly missing out on the playoffs overall. After 2016, he returned to Texas for a third stint and rejoined the Tribe in 2018. However, a devastating injury at the end of spring training put an end to his career. So, that's the list. What other former Indians made a huge impact for just one season? Let me know in the comments below, and please hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. Hit it even if you didn't. We are all in this together. What does that have to do with hitting that subscribe button? I don't know.